boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
It couldn't have gone any better.
Okay, so now you go again. What we're going to see on the night, you're going to win this.
I'm going to do my best. If I do my best on the night, that is everything to me.
Liam, thank you very much for joining us. Liam Cameron, this Monday lunchtime, former Commonwealth middleweight champion who goes in again against Ben Whittaker, and we shall see what happens. What are you saying to it?
Well, I would like to have heard Liam say, yes, I'm going to win a fight. No, I'm going to do my best.
Yeah.
I don't know what you take from that. I mean, obviously, this is a huge commercial opportunity for Liam. We know that Liam was bouncing around, being able to get promoters to pitch one another against one another economically. So this is a big payday for Liam, and he deserves it. He's had a very difficult background and has been a very good fighter. But when you hear someone say, I'm going to do my best and that'll be good enough for me, it's not quite the same as saying I'm going to win a fight.
Obviously, I know you've got Liam Cameron, you've inherited him. He's got a fight coming up. I've seen him do a couple of bits on TalkSport, a bit of discrepancy with rounds and stuff.
Yeah.
What's he like in the gym?
He just comes in, does his work and goes. You don't like all the cameras,
glitz and glamour,
the cameras.
Well, none of you do, to be fair. Your dad ran off earlier.
Yeah, my dad, he's a
tried to corner him.
Yeah, he'll not do interviews. At the end of the day, we just want to work, get paid, go home.
Work, get paid and go home.
Some people might like the limelight, want to be famous. Obviously, with success comes the fame. But going back to Liam, Liam's just Liam. He's raw as they come, down to earth, just says it as it is, and it's good that he's getting the success from boxing what he deserves.
Now, Simon Jordan, he wasn't impressed that Liam said he'll do his best. He wanted an assertive, I'm going to win the fight. It's hard to argue with Simon's position. It's not ideal that you're signing with a major promoter like Frank Warren, fighting on a stage like Sky Sports against the Olympic silver medalist, saying, I'll do my best. In America, you wouldn't hear that from a boxer, would you? You'd hear, yes, I'm going to win. You don't have to say I'm going to win in a brash, arrogant way, but you would have thought after, 8-10 week camp, all your thoughts, your language would be centered around, I'm going to win. But Liam, as you hear Dalton Smith talking to October Red, he's not into interviews, the glamour, the glitz. He just wants to do his work and go about what he's doing. Now, Ben Whittaker, even though his confidence must have been shaken from their first fight where he didn't show up, if you was to ask him now who's going to win, he's going to say he's going to win. He's going to stay in character. How much he believes it is another question.
You're going to win this.
I'm going to do my best. If I do my best on the night, that is everything to me.
If I do my best is everything to me. But how true is it that if I do my best, that's all what counts? Now, you can't do no more than your best. That's the baseline before we go any further. You can't do more than your best. But at this level, you've got to really want it. You've got to accept there's a certain level of pressure to perform. The first fight, he didn't have no pressure because he came in there as an unknown. His performance before that was a losing one, a credible one, to Lyndon Arthur. There is pressure on Ben Whittaker to perform because he's put a lot of expectation on himself by saying a lot. But there's also a lot of pressure on Liam Cameron because he knows there's media and fans who have now elected him as the man to take this guy out, this eyesore on British boxing. Get rid of him. Some people will argue, well, Beats, he's just being honest. He didn't want to overstate his case. He was just being honest. He didn't want to big himself up too much. And from a psychological standpoint, I see what he's doing. He still wants to be the underdog. Because I've noticed a lot of fighters are very comfortable, or they're more comfortable being in the underdog role than a favourite because of the pressure. Pressure, the what? Pressure cooker. But this is boxing. This is Sky Sports. This is the headlining fight. There is no hiding place. There is no, I can take the consolation prize that people still like me and they don't like Ben. It's still going to sting if he loses. And I can see where Simon is coming from. On the big stage, you want to see a fighter go all out, commit everything. Yeah, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I haven't been doing all this training to do my best. I'm going to win. And if some people think I'm a little too cocky for saying that, so what? There has to be a limit on how much you want to be liked if you're a boxer. You don't have to play the villain in its totality, but you need a little bit of villain in you to be a boxer.
So you wanna be a boxer?
Because the language is important. Because you don't want to be too overconfident, but you need to assert yourself. And what you tell yourself throughout that training camp could be the difference between victory and losing. I'm going to win, I'm going to win. Well, I'm just going to do my best, I'm just going to do my best. I'm sure when he's away from the camera, he's thinking I'm going to win. I'm sure he is.
I don't agree with rehydration clauses usually. I think it was wrong to be raised at the last minute. There was a lot of controversy around that in the first fight. We felt it was time to leave that alone. However, it's at a completely different weight till it was the first time. And when you speak to the nutritionists and you speak to everyone, this isn't going to affect us. They might think they've won. They should not be asking for it.
I mean, Chris and Ben have accepted the rehydration clause, for which they're compensated financially. And now you have problems with rehydration clauses. Whatever Eddie Hearn did to get them to sign the rehydration clause, kudos to Eddie Hearn. But they signed. They signed up for it. And then next thing, Ben Shalom is talking about, we'll have to talk to the British Boxing Board of Control because the rehydration clause is going to break Eubanks' sleep. Maybe they'll have to step in. No, you signed up for the rehydration clause. I believe Chris has to weigh in 10 o'clock on the second day weigh-in. And Conor has to weigh in as well on the second day. And now we're hearing Ben Shalom and Ben Whittaker are not happy with the 12-round duration for the Liam Cameron rematch. They sent Liam Cameron a contract back that the fight would be fought over 10 rounds when he signed up for 12. And Frank Warren is saying, well, if they're that desperate for 10 rounds, they'll have to financially compensate Liam Cameron. Liam Cameron says, no, I signed up for a 12-round. I want a 12-round fight. Ben Shalom has to understand that he's overseeing the negotiation for his fighters. The boxers need to be focused on winning that fight and getting prepared for that fight. If your fighters are accepting rehydration clauses after negotiation and then trying to change the duration of the fight after negotiation, who's the common denominator? Ben Shalom. Are they trying to get out of the fight? You would hope not, because it would be an embarrassment for Ben Whittaker, Shalom and Sky Sports. Or do they have genuine concern about doing 12 rounds? Because obviously he flagged pretty badly after the first couple of rounds in the first fight. Or are they just trying to play games and unsettle Liam Cameron? It's got me skeptical whether the fight's going to happen. And once again, where's Ben Shalom? Ben Shalom needs to come out and tell the public the fight is going ahead. It's going to be a 12-rounder. That's what was contracted. No need for alarm. But where is he? All I've heard so far is Frank Warren and Liam Cameron talking about it. But I haven't heard anything from Ben Whittaker or Ben Shalom. They need to put it to bed.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Yeah, well, let's make the fight, man. Like, I need to get back in the gym, and I'm coming for it, man. Joe, pleasure as a...
Heavy impact. I've seen this video going about today. I believe this was after Joe fought Cash Ali last year, you know. I believe that's when it was. And I'm not an expert. I don't work in the field of CTEs. I do think Joe is the type who might get caught up in his own thoughts. But Saturday is going to tell us a lot about Joe Joyce and what future he has left in boxing. He's passing all his scans, so he's fit to fight. Joyce was laughing along with Dillian when Dillian was pointing out that before Joe speaks, he starts buffering before any words come out. But is there a more serious issue at hand? We don't know. The future will tell us more. But Saturday, I believe HRGOVIC beats Joe Joyce. I don't know if he gets him out of there because HRGOVIC struggled to get Dempsey McKean out of there. And Joyce does have a win over HRGOVIC in the WSB. And HRGOVIC has a whole load of questions to answer himself. They're both coming off losses. I believe it's going to be an untidy fight. And Joyce must look after himself in them clinches because HRGOVIC is a notorious rabbit puncher. Points win, but I don't think he stops Joe.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Bro, don't ever, bro. You shut your fucking mouth, bro. Shut your fucking mouth, bro.
Chill out.
You the fuck you putting up to that?
Chill out.
Bro, shut the fuck up, man.
Just chill out with all of that.
Sounds like Adeleye tried to pull up on JEAMIE and JEAMIE wasn't having it. Security stepped in and David wisely tried to calm it down. Maybe because David didn't have his posse with him like he did with Fabio Wardley. I tell you what, yeah, I've met Jamie TKV. Very pleasant young man. I spoke to him, and you can see there he's fired up. He's fired up. He's no longer polite, smiling Jamie. He's mad, and he's not having it. David Adeleye was telling Jamie he's going to knock him out. You're not about this, you're not about that. Now, the fight on Saturday got nothing to do with the cobbles or road or anything like that. But this is going to be an explosive fight while it lasts. And I don't like covering fights like this because I know Jamie. I don't want to be biased. I'm hoping he can win. Jamie is a lot more robust, a lot more tough than Solomon Dakers. I'll tell you that now. And one thing Jamie can do, he can make the fight very uncomfortable for his opponents. And exactly what some have critiqued him for, making it untidy, might be exactly what he needs on Saturday. Hopefully the security can keep a lid on the hostility until the weigh-in on Friday. And let's see these two do it where they can't be arrested in the ring and they can get paid. May the best man win. May both of you come out with your health intact. It's a dangerous fight for Jamie. He knows it's dangerous. I mean, we saw what David Adeleye did last time to Solomon Dakers. It's a dangerous fight. Now I've got to make the unbiased pick. Look, David's the house fighter. He's the one everyone knows about. He's had the more cleaner stoppages, knockouts that we've seen so far. I don't believe he's going to get Jamie out of there early. David trained by Adam Booth now. Jamie will probably be with Barry Smith, who works alongside Ben Davidson at the Performance Center with AJ and Fabio. So they're not going to come unprepared, trust me, yeah? Jamie has sparred with Fabio, AJ. He may have sparred with Moses Atorma. He's tough as nails, and this is shot at the big time. He's got to give it his all. I'm not going to pick a stoppage, but I'd say Adeleye to win. I'm expecting Jamie to bring the ruckus, make it a tough fight. Hopefully he can take David into deep waters. You never know.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Richard Torrez versus Guido Vianello is a very good fight on Top Rank on Saturday. Torrez 12-0, 11 inside the distance. This is step up fight as far as I'm concerned. Vianello has got a couple of L's. He's got a controversial loss against Ajagba, and he stopped Makhmudov in 8 after Makhmudov was stopped by Ajit Caballero. The Italian has the skills to give Richard Torrez all the issues he needs. To me, it's a 50-50. Torres's handlers must have confidence in him that they're letting him off the leash to take on this guy. He's a very good opponent.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
It's nice to see you smiling. Nice to see you in a good space. Ariel asked you, why are you back?
I mean, I'm like any other boxing fan. I just want the best fights that's possible. You know, we understand that in this business that nothing lasts forever. I mean, even in the world, I mean, we all have an expiration date and a time where that may present itself. So the same rules apply in boxing, you know. For that reason, I'm not looking for any particular. I want the best of the best. Whoever the best in the division, that's who I want. All fighters feed off of each other. Even when I brought the excitement back years ago, you know, everything was roaring and the excitement was back at the heavyweight division. You know, you had even retired fighters wanted to come back because the energy was so crazy.
Well, the first test in this new chapter comes on June 27th in Wichita, Kansas. Did you know back in January of 2019, your opponent on that night in June, Tyrell Herndon, like I said, posted this on Instagram. Have you seen this? As of late, manifesting idols become rivals eventually. This is January of 2019.
That is crazy.
How about that?
I never seen this, but it is a true thing. It is. I always say, speak it, believe it, receive it. And what you think and what you say in the world will manifest. It will. You know, that's why a lot of things we go through in life, we want to point fingers instead of pointing at the person that's in the mirror. Because sometimes we may have said things and brought it into existence and not even realized it, but have to go through the trials and the tribulations of it. And hopefully there ain't too much turbulence that you can't overcome it. But when you do, you'll be like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Amen.
You live on to tell another story. Without a great test, you can't have a greater testimony.
Why him as your return fight? Why Tyrell?
My coaches analyzed a lot of the guys, and we had options coming back and big opportunities. But we didn't want to take that route. We wanted to make sure that I say I'm good and everything is good, like no doubts. Because many times I have said that I was good, but maybe had a little doubt. I never had a point in time in my life where I lost my confidence in myself. Things got so crazy in my life, that it altered my mindset and I lost confidence in myself. And I never thought I would do that. But certain things in your life and you have certain people around that you will never think that would break your heart. And when they do, it changes you. Never has hate in my heart, but now I do. And before anyone would tell me, oh, you don't need to have hate in, all this and that, I tell people I live my life, you live yours. I need a little sprinkle of hate in my heart to complete the recipe. Because I did get a little too soft. When life is so good and you take care of everybody and everybody in your face and shit's going good, and when you don't want to do nothing for nobody and you start finding out certain things and things start happening, man, and you feel like you benefited nothing from them when they've benefited everything from you. Every fucking thing. And you see the backstabbing and the manipulation.
Can I ask who you're specifically referring to?
Not at the moment in time. I'm just telling my story, and the people's are ghosts at the moment in time. But all the truth will be revealed in the near future.
Okay.
And I'm just telling you about my journey and what I've been through.
For the life of me, I cannot remember the video where I recently said, when you look at old fighters, certain old fighters who are not performing at the level they previously did, sometimes you can overlook the fact that it's not necessarily their age or the body that's in deterioration, although that is often the case. But it's that jaded, they've been done wrong, pointing the fingers, this person, ex-girlfriends, family members. And he himself said, we point the finger instead of looking at the person in the mirror. He's talking about himself. And that's where he still is now, pointing the finger. And Ade asked who Deontay was talking about. He talking about Telly Swift, his ex-woman, who I believe he has a child for. Could be Marcellus Wilder, who accused Deontay of banging his girl, and he was really upset about it. And there's other stuff that he didn't share. I played that part of the interview because if Ade didn't stop him, that whole interview would have been about who wronged him, all what he did for people and how ungrateful they were. The younger fighter could shake off all the heartbreaks from the industry, from his social circle, love life, etc. The older fighter, however, harbours a lot in his heart that is not conducive to professional boxing at a high level. How much time did he speak about Daniel Dubois or Alexander Usyk, rematching Parker, rematching Zhang? If you had let him, he would have kept venting about all non-boxing related things going on in his life. And that's all you need to know about this comeback. As soon as he fights somebody with a pulse who hasn't had an opportunity at the big money and is focused, then you see what this is all about. Is he really focused on boxing? Didn't sound like it to me. Even when the driver veered to his right to try and get Wilder a better signal for the interview, Wilder went into this big strop. Older fighters have to realize they have to be 100% focused on the task at hand. Younger fighters can get away with stuff older fighters can't get away with. Like, a younger fighter might not be eating right, he might not be living right, he might not be sleeping right, but he's got enough athleticism, youthful athleticism, to get away with the ill discipline and lack of focus. Eventually, he will catch up to him, but the older fighter has to be dialed in. If the wear and tear don't allow him to train like he was able to previously, he's got to work around it. Like, knees are gone, maybe less running, more swimming, etc. But you've got to be disciplined. Unless he's just there for the paycheck. And if the likes of Deontay don't acknowledge that he has a lot of baggage that he's carrying around, then all he's going to take is one fight where he's not able to drop someone in the first 4 or 5, as we've seen recently. The opponent gets confident, and there's likely to be another L on his record. He doesn't have the clarity of thought because he hasn't had that in his life. And he hasn't resolved a lot of his issues. He's a jaded, aging fighter. He spoke about pointing the finger at others, but not at the person in the mirror, when he's never took accountability for when things have went wrong in his life, in his career. Look when Tyson beat him in the rematch. All the excuses, glove gate, racism, costume too heavy, sack Mark Breland. Has he changed since then? I doubt it very much. That was 2020. But he's not going to lose against Tyrell Herndon. Surely not. Beat this guy in his sleep.
I want to say 4 months ago or so, I'm not exact. He's been going physical therapy and he seems to be okay.
Just to confirm, the surgery was for a tear in his arm or shoulder?
Right shoulder.
Right shoulder. When did he initially pick up that injury?
It may have been with the Parker fight, but it was before the Zhang for sure. Not making excuses of the result, but just the reality he had it. When the doctor pressed down on his wrist, he said, extend your arm and push down. He said, it's amazing you could fold your arm up and fight it off.
39 years of age, shoulder surgery last December, bicep surgery after Tyson beat him 2020, a lot of wear and tear. Tyrell Anthony Hendon has been stopped by Efe Ajagba and Richard Torrez. The Charles Koch Arena, Wichita, Kansas, June the 27th. A lot of criticism for the choice of opponent, but they have to test the shoulder out. And he's had a bad run of form. Now, if he's successful against Tyrell and he still opts for this level, then you can probably pipe up and have a go at him. Justifiably.